Hi everyone, welcome back to DGMC, Diwan-e-Ghalib, Meri Subani. To all our returning viewers, we are so happy you could join us again. And for the new viewers, we are delighted you discovered the podcast and decided to tune in for the first time. Now, if you were with me in the previous episode, you know that currently we are going through Ghazal 22 from Diwan-e-Ghalib. Hawas ko hai Nashaat-e-Kaar kya. We already have multiple episodes posted for it. Today we are going to pick up couplet 11 from this ghazal. Now, as always, I'm going to read the couplet and then we will get into the meanings, translations, impressions of the couplet. So, this is how it goes. किया किसने जिगरदारी का दावा. किया किसने जिगरदारी का दावा, शिकेबे खातिरे आशिक भला क्या. So let's do a quick translation of this couplet before we move forward. So first line, किया किसने जिगरदारी का दावा. Who made a claim? Who made a claim of possessing a liver? Second line, शकेबे खातिरे आशिक भला क्या. The praise of the lover's patience. For goodness sake, what is this all about? So that is a very basic one-on-one translation. Of course, we will get into the depth of this couplet as we go through the impression. So let's pick the first line. किया किसने जिगरदारी का दावा. The key words in the first line. The first keyword is Jigar-Daari. It's a word complex. The first word is jigar, translates to liver. Second word is dari, translates to possessing something, owning something, having something. So Jigar-Daari becomes possessing a liver. Now before we go any further, it will be pertinent at this point in time to remind our viewers, if you are veteran DGMC viewers, you've heard this before. But if you are new, in Urdu poetry, there is a concept that plays out frequently in the couplets. And the concept is around the heart and the liver. They are two separate organs, and their significance in Urdu poetry are the virtues that these organs house, or the virtues that reside in these organs. So in Urdu poetry, it is believed that the heart is the seat of love and passion. The virtue, the feeling, the emotion of love and passion. The liver, on the other hand, is considered to be the seat of patience, endurance, courage, fortitude. So many times in Urdu poetry, heart and liver are quoted synonymously, interchangeably, but many a times they are quoted separately because of the separate virtues or emotions that reside in them. So today's couplet is focused entirely on jigar, liver, which is believed to be the seat of, like I said, fortitude, patience, valor, courage, strength. So just keep that in mind, and the couplet probably will make sense faster. So coming back to Jigar-Daari, like I said, the literal meaning is possessing a liver, but the metaphoric meaning is possessing a liver that houses the virtue of patience, courage, valor and strength. मीर तकी मीर का ये शेर देखिए. खींच के तेगा अपना, खींच के तेगा अपना, हरदम क्या लोगों को डराते हो. खींच के तेगा अपना, हरदम क्या लोगों को डराते हो. मीर जिगरदार आदमी है, वो कब मरने से डरता है. So the approximate translation is, every time drawing your sword, Who are you trying to scare? Remember, Mir, and the poet is addressing himself. Mir is a person who has a liver that possesses the virtue of courage and fortitude. And hence, Mir is not scared of dying. So do not do this futile exercise of drawing your sword out again and again from its sheath to scare Mir, because Mir has a liver that houses that virtue of courage and fortitude. Mir is not scared of dying. So the sword coming in and out of your sheath again and again is not scaring Mir. अमीर मिनाई का ये शेर देखिए. तीर पर तीर लगाओ, तीर पर तीर लगाओ, तुम्हें डर किसका है? तीर पर तीर लगाओ, तुम्हें डर किसका है? सीना किसका है मेरी जान, जिगर किसका है? Beautiful couplet, right? So the approximate translation is, again and again, take your shot at me. Again and again, shoot your arrow at me. Who are you afraid of? Indulge in your desire to shoot at me, to make me your target again and again. Because remember, my love, who you are shooting at. Remember the heart of that person. Remember the liver of that person. By extension, metaphorically, remember the love and passion that person has for you, and remember the courage and valor that person has. So do not hesitate. Take your shot as many times as you want at me, because I'm that kind of a person. Beautiful couplet. So that takes care of Jigar-Daari. Just a few couplets to grasp the essence of that word, right? Moving on to the second keyword in the first line, Daawaa. Now, Daawaa by translation means a claim, a statement, a claim that you can stand behind, something you state that will stand the test of time. Right? So it is not just something you express or say, it is something that you establish, which you will be able to stand behind, which you will be able to deliver time and time again. So there's a gravitas to it. There is a huge responsibility attached to a claim. Now, anybody can make a claim. And in Urdu poetry, both the lover and the beloved have their own favorite claims, right? So let's quickly explore some of those. So one of the favorite claims from the lover, right? Rahman Faris ka ye sher. Koi shak hai to beshak azma le. Koi shak hai to beshak azma le. Tera hone ka daawedar hoon main. Again, a beautiful couplet. The approximate translation is, if you have any doubts, go ahead and test me out till no doubts remain. Because I am standing behind my claim that I belong to you. So this is a lover's claim. Moving to the beloved's claim. Daag Dehelvi ka ye sher. जबरदस्ती तो देखो, जबरदस्ती तो देखो, हाथ रख कर मेरे सीने पर. जबरदस्ती तो देखो, हाथ रख कर मेरे सीने पर. वो किस दावे से कहते हैं, हमारा ही तो ये दिल है. The approximate translation is, look at the arm twisting. Look at the arm twisting my beloved does, that she goes ahead, puts her hand on my chest and makes a claim that this heart belongs to me. Again, a beautiful couplet, of course, Daag ka sher hai. So just to grab the essence of that word Daawaa, making a claim, right? Something you can stand behind. Look at the beloved's confidence, right? That she claims the heart of the lover as her own. So that takes care of the keywords in the first line, Kiyaa kisne Jigar-Daari ka Daawaa. Now, as always, and again, if you have been a viewer at DGMZ, we have come across so many couplets where Ghalib starts them with a question. Kiya kisne? Who is it? Right? So again, he does the same thing in this couplet. He starts it with a question. Kiya kisne? Who did it? Who did it? And of course, this who did it comes with more than one undertone to it, right? It is a question. Yes, kiya kisne? On paper, it is a question. But there is a slight bite to it in true Ghalib's style, right? The question is asked with an undertone of indignation. There is a slight anger to it. Who dare say this? Is the undertone that lies hidden in who said it. So who said it is, of course, what's on paper, but the undertone is who dare say this? Who could even think of saying this? How dare, right? So that kind of feeling. And of course, like most of Ghalib's questions, in this question is hidden the answer itself. So who said it is the question, and the answer hidden in it is no one did. No one did. No one ever did. But that's the unsaid, right? And as you know, if you're familiar with Ghalib's poetry, the poetry travels on two tracks in parallel: the said and the unsaid. The said is out of this world, the unsaid even better. if as if it could possibly be, but it is, right? So the said is who did it, and the unsaid is no one. Absolutely no one did. So that takes care of Kiya kisne. Moving on to Jigar-Daari ka Daawaa. So this is the claim. So who did it, who said it is pertaining to this claim. Who made this claim? Who said this claim? Who articulated this claim? And what is the claim? Jigar-Daari. The claim of possessing a liver that houses the virtue of patience. So, Ghalib in this first line is saying or asking the question, who did it? This claim of the lover possessing a liver that houses the virtue of patience. So, per Ghalib in this first line, number one, the lover never made this claim. Number two, there was an incorrect assumption made that the lover made the claim. And number three, Ghalib is questioning that incorrect assumption. Questioning it in such a way that he is denying it. Right? So, like I said, on paper it's a question, but the hidden answer is no one, absolutely no one. So he is denying it. Now, one thing to keep in mind when we are going through the first line is that when we were doing the keywords, if you remember, we mentioned that liver in Urdu poetry is believed to house the virtues of valor, courage, patience, endurance, strength, right? But in this couplet, Ghalib is primarily focusing on the virtue of patience. This couplet is not about the other virtues. It is primarily focused on patience. And how do we know that? Well, we know that because of the second line, and we will come to it. But just something to keep in mind that when Ghalib is referring to liver here, possessing of liver here, the virtue he is referring to is that of patience. So, in this first line, Ghalib is specifically talking about patience and the associated calmness, the associated repose that the lover never claimed to possess. But an incorrect assumption was made that he made that claim. Now, the lack of patience in the lover is a hallmark in Urdu poetry, right? The lover's anxiety, the lover's impatience, the lover's restlessness is something he always carries inside him, all the time, thanks to the extreme testing by the beloved, as she makes the lover wait and endure many a hardships for her and her love. Right? So the lover, it is almost second nature for the lover to be in this perpetual state of anxiety, impatience, restlessness, etc. It is second nature to the lover. Ghalib himself has captured this lover's dilemma between patience and impatience very beautifully in this couplet. So the couplet is Aashiki sabr talab. आशिकी सब्र तलब और तमन्ना बेताब. बात ही बहुत प्यारी है. आशिकी सब्र तलब और तमन्ना बेताब, दिल का क्या रंग करूं खूने जिगर होते तक. Now we are so tempted to get into the impression this couplet, whenever we come to this ghazal, is going to be an honor and a pleasure to put an impression for. But as of now, we can't. This will take us down a rabbit hole. So, just a very straightforward translation of the couplet. Love, Ashiki sabr talab. Love is searching for patience. Tamanna beta, and the desire is restless. Love is searching for patience, the desire is restless. What kind of hue or color or shade should I give to my heart by the time the liver dissolves into blood? Very, very basic translation. We are sorry that we will not be able to get into the details of it. But the gist of the couplet is that the lover is torn in two directions. The love asks him to be patient. The desire makes him impatient. Right? The love says, be patient. Be patient. Do not rush things. Give her all the time she wants. But the desire says now. Now. The union should be now. And the lover gets torn between this patience and impatience. And of course, a true lover will strike a balance. A true lover will strike a balance. He will walk this fine line with integrity, with decorum, with all the reverence and respect for the beloved. That is the art of loving the beloved, which the lover will exhibit. Right. So Ghalib captures this patience, impatience dilemma very well in this couplet. Now, we know that in Urdu poetry, in the world of love that exists in Urdu poetry, the moment a lover starts falling in love with the beloved, pretty much the very moment he starts falling in love with the beloved, he starts losing. He starts losing the virtue of patience. He starts losing the emotions associated with the virtue of patience. Emotions like peace and calmness and repose. Right? आप फ़ानी बदायूं का ये शेर देखें. इब्तिदाए इश्क है. इब्तिदाए इश्क है, लुत्फ़े शबाब आने को है. इब्तिदाए इश्क है, लुत्फ़े शबाब आने को है, सब्र रुखसत हो रहा है, इस्तराब आने को है. The approximate translation is, it is the beginning of love. It is the beginning of love, and the beloved in all her beauty is going to arrive, is going to manifest. And hence, patience is taking leave and anxiety is coming in and residing in my heart. Patience is leaving me and anxiety is coming to stay with me. So, like I said, the very moment you start falling in love, patience will slowly start leaving you, and anxiety, anxiousness, restlessness will start arriving at your doorstep. बहादुर शाह जफर का ये शेर, ले गया छीन के कौन, ले गया छीन के कौन आज तेरा सब्रो करार, ले गया छीन के कौन आज तेरा सब्रो करार, बेकरारी तुझे ए दिल कभी ऐसी तो न थी. Again, a beautiful couplet, famous couplet, you must have heard of it. So the approximate translation is, who has robbed you of your patience and calmness? My heart, never ever before have you been so restless, so impatient, so anxious, right? So again, as soon as that love arrives, so does restlessness, so does anxiety, so does anxiousness. And last one, दाग दहलवी का ये शेर, ये मज़ा था दिल लगी का कि बराबर आग लगती, ना तुझे करार होता ना मुझे करार होता. We have covered this couplet many times. It's such a famous one and so quotable. The approximate translation is, the actual pleasure, the actual joy of attaching our hearts with each other was in the fact that the fire would burn equally at both ends. Right? The fire of desire, the fire of love, the fire of passion would burn equally at both ends. Neither would you be able to find any patience and calm, neither would I be able to find any patience and calm. That would have been the penultimate joy, that would have been the penultimate pleasure of falling in love, of bringing our hearts together. And we know that, so this is that as soon as you start falling in love, patience and rest and calm will start leaving you. Now, restlessness, anxiety will come and stay with you for how long? Well, for our lover in Urdu poetry, forever. Forever, right? This patience, this restlessness, this anxiety will stay with the lover as his eternal companions throughout his life and beyond. They never leave. They never leave. दाग दहलवी का ही ये शेर, यूं मेरे साथ दफन दिले बेकरार हो. बहुत प्यारा शेर है. यूं मेरे साथ दफन दिले बेकरार हो, छोटा सा एक मज़ार के अंदर मज़ार हो. The approximate translation is, in a style, in such style should this restless heart be buried with me. In such style should this restless heart be buried with me, as if there is a small miniature grave inside a bigger grave. The visualization, the thought, the emotion is just, what is that word? Overwhelming. So the lover's grave, and then the lover says, in that grave there will be a mini grave of this heart. The heart is treated by Daag Dehlevi in this couplet as a separate, independent entity. A heart which lived all its life with this restlessness and anxiety. And then मिर्ज़ा गालिब का अपना ये शेर, आ कि मेरी जान को करार नहीं है, आ कि मेरी जान को करार नहीं है, ताकते बेदादे इंतज़ार नहीं है. Beautiful couplet. And the approximate translation is that, beloved, enough is enough, please come to me. Come to me, because I do not have any peace, any patience left in myself to wait for you, and I do not have any strength. I do not have any strength to carry on or to bear the torture of waiting for you anymore. So please come to me. So, like I said, all these couplets to establish the fact that once this anxiety, this restlessness takes seat in the lover's heart, it usually never leaves. It becomes eternal companions to the lover. So that is something to keep in mind, right? The lack of patience, the lack of calmness, the lack of repose in a lover's heart. It is a pretty much established fact in Urdu poetry. A lover's heart will always house the feelings of impatience, restlessness, anxiety, anxiousness. So, that takes care of the first line, Kiyaa kisne Jigar-Daari ka Daawaa, where Ghalib questions and simultaneously, that was his style, Ghalib questions and simultaneously denies. He denies the incorrect assumption of the lover claiming to have a liver, which houses the virtue of patience. Per Ghalib, no lover can ever make that claim. No lover can ever make that claim and stand true by it. Because love makes you restless and impatient. That is the underlying message. Kiyaa kisne Jigar-Daari ka Daawaa. Who claimed to possess a liver that houses the virtue of patience. This is the message in it, that no lover can ever make that claim and stand true by it, because love makes you restless and impatient. Okay. Moving on to the second line. So, in true Urdu poetry style, the first line usually will get its ultimate final punch from the second line. So, let's dive into it. Shakebe khatire ashik bhala kya. Let's pick the keywords. Shakeb, patience. Shakeb is patience. दाग दहलवी का ये शेर, ये दिल है आपका घर, ये दिल है आपका घर, रहिए शौक से लेकिन. ये दिल है आपका घर, रहिए शौक से लेकिन, शकेब और राहतो सब्र करारे जां की तरह. So the approximate translation is, this heart is yours. Stay in it as long as you want. But the only condition is, stay in it like something that will bring patience, rest, calm, and repose to my life. By extension, do not stay in my heart like something that will take away patience, calm, repose from my life. And Faiz Ahmad Faiz का ये शेर, ये तो बहुत ही प्यारा शेर है, and we will connect it to a couplet. So गौर फरमाएं. गलत था दावाए सब्रो शकेब, आ जाओ. गलत था दावाए सब्रो शकेब, आ जाओ, करारे खातिरे बेताब, थक गया हूं मैं. So the approximate translation is, the claim of patience and endurance that I made was wrong. Please come. Please come to me. The claim that I made of patience and endurance was wrong. Please come to me, because I need you to give rest to my restless heart. I am tired. I am so tired of being restless and anxious. So here you can clearly see, right, that, and probably this couplet is inspired by Ghalib, probably not. But the fact of the matter is that here the lover is telling the beloved, I was so wrong to make the claim that I possess patience and endurance. I admit I was wrong. I admit my claim was wrong. please come and give me some respite, give me some relief from this restlessness and anxiousness of waiting for you. Please come. I am dead tired. I cannot go any further with this restlessness and anxiety. And the couplet re-emphasizes what Ghalib is trying to say. किया किसने जिगरदारी का दावा? ये कौन बेवकूफ लवर है जो कह रहा है कि मेरे पास पेशेंस है? ये कैसा दावा है? ये हो ही नहीं सकता. Who is saying it? By extension, no one has ever made this claim. No lover will ever make this claim, because he will not be able to stand behind it. Okay, so that takes care of Shakir. Moving on to the next keyword, Khatir. So, as we all know, Khatir we use it in even today's colloquial language, right? So, Khatir, straightforward meaning is welcoming someone, right? Showering them with generosity and warmth, making them feel good, welcomed. But it can also, by extended meaning, describe appreciation of some sort, describe praise of some sort. And then the next word in this second line is Ashik. Ashik is lover, right? No explanation needed there. And then the last word, Bhala, right? So again, Bhala is something we use in our colloquial language a lot. The straightforward meaning is good. Something good, something virtuous, something honest. But colloquially, Bhala can be used to say something to the effect of, for goodness sake, what do you mean, right? For goodness sake, what exactly are you trying to say? So that takes care of all the keywords, right? Shakebe, Khatire, Ashik, Bhala kya? Let's get into the impression. So in this line, you see Ghalib's masterful poetry at its best. And I will explain to you why I say that. So basically what Ghalib is wanting to say is, lover has no patience, right? That is the message he's wanting to give. That is what he was trying to say in the first line also. So the theme continues. What he wants to say is, lover has no patience. Keeping that in mind, let's read the line. Shakebe Khatire Ashik. This word complex translates to appreciation of lover's patience. Right? So he wants to say lover has no patience. But the first big word complex reads or translates to appreciation of lover's patience. And you can see appreciation of lover's patience is exactly the opposite of lover has no patience. And yahan par, my dear friends, lies the beauty, the style, the allure we call Ghalib. We have to keep in mind that this poetry was not written by him to be explained via personal impressions on DGMZ podcast, right? This poetry was written by him to be recited in the true mushaira style, right? And just imagine in that mushaira setting where only Ghalib knows his poetry. Nobody else can guess it. Nobody knows it. He is presenting his poetry for the first time in this gathering. And he comes to the second line, right? And he says, Shakebe Khatire Ashik. And then, in true Urdu poetry recitation style, there's a pregnant pause. He doesn't go further than that. So he says, Shakebe Khatire Ashik. And there's a pause. And here the listener is already flying northwards, right? Full throttle, understanding and enjoying Shakebe Khatire Ashik, which translates to appreciation of lover's patience. So I, as a listener, I am already drawing these images of a lover who is so patient, and he's being applauded for it, he's being appreciated for it, he's being lauded for it, right? All this is happening I am moving northwards full throttle on Shakebe-Khatire-Ashik. And Ghalib then breaks his pregnant pause and adds his favorite Ghalibana mighty, almighty word, Kiyaa. And this Kiyaa is accompanied by Bhala. Bhala Kiyaa. And as soon as he says Bhala Kiyaa, suddenly the whole line has flipped on its head. Right? It has flipped on its head and made the listener realize that all the while, when we were flying northwards, oh, we have landed at the South Pole. All this while, when we were thinking that the lover is being appreciated for his patience, he's not. So suddenly, by adding Bhala Kiyaa, Ghalib has converted appreciation of lover's patience to appreciation of lover's patience? Of course not. The meaning is completely reversed. And that is a style. And again, this is done in English language also, right? Though I think I am not a big fan of the usage, the way it is used, because usually the way I've seen this done in English language would be, you're so beautiful and charming, and your voice just reminds me of a nightingale. Of course not, right? It's a bad joke. It's a bad joke, and it's in poor taste when used that way. But here Ghalib is using it to a good purpose, in my humble opinion, right? He is trying to establish a truth that people are very easily and frivolously ignoring. And the truth is that the lover does not have the virtue of patience in him. The lover does not take pride in being called patient. So, the Bhala Kiyaa is, like I said, the twist, and hence the beauty of this couplet. In that one phrase, Bhala Kiyaa, Ghalib is again capturing multiple layers of reaction. Right? It almost seems that very quickly he goes from surprise to exasperation to indignation to anger and denial. Right? So he says in the second line, praising the lover for his patience? Of course not. For goodness sake, what kind of a thing is this? What kind of a concept is this? By extension, this doesn't exist. This doesn't happen. This is not correct, right? Praising a lover for his patience. But Ghalib, this appreciation of the lover for his patience is equivalent to an insult. The lover does not want to be appreciated or applauded for being patient. He does not. By extension, it is a matter of pride for the lover to be in this perpetual, never-ending state of restlessness, impatience, anxiousness for the beloved. Right? Ghalib believes that a lover is not worth his weight in salt. If he can rest and repose and stay calm and be peaceful as he is loving the beloved, while he is loving the beloved. According to Ghalib, a lover will always be restless for the beloved. There will not be a single moment where he will rest till either the union with the beloved happens or the lover gets destroyed waiting for that union. The lover finishes waiting for that union. Two of these things have to happen for the lover to rest. Otherwise, he will not have a moment for rest. The lover's job is never done. Right? आप उनका ये शेर देखिए गालिब का, खून हो के जिगर आंख से टपका नहीं ए मर्ग. खून हो के जिगर आँख से टपका नहीं ए मर्ग, रहने दे मुझे यहाँ कि अभी काम बहुत है. कितना प्यारा कपलेट है, राइट? कितना प्यारा कपलेट है. द अप्रॉक्सीमेट ट्रांसलेशन इज my liver has still not dissolved, turned, transformed into blood and flowed up to my heart and out of my eyes. Death, this phenomena has still not happened. Death, my blood in the liver has not dissolved, come up to my heart and flowed out of my eyes as blood tears. So, leave me alone. Let me live a little more because I have still some work to do. And what is that work? To have the liver dissolve in blood and come up to the heart and flow out of the eyes. And काबिल गौर बात यह है, anatomically it is correct to a large extent. Liver is the organ that produces blood for all the body, and that blood gets pumped into the heart. And of course, you must have heard the phenomena that extreme amounts of grief and pain can make you shed tears of blood. So वो भी एक बड़ी हैरत की बात है कि anatomically so accurate, right? But of course बात तो सारी ख्याल की है. It's the thought that Ghalib is trying to capture here, that death, give me some more time. I haven't suffered enough. There is a little more suffering. There's this one extreme suffering where the blood will flow through my eyes. The blood of my liver will flow through my eyes as blood tears. That is still remaining. That has not yet happened. Give me some more time. Wait. Let me achieve this also, and then you can take me. So, that brings us to the end of किया किसने जिगरदारी का दावा, शकेबे खातिरे आशिक भला क्या. In this couplet, we see Ghalib deny two things. Number one, lover does not have a liver that possesses the virtue of patience. That he does in the first line. And then the second denial is, lover does not want to be appreciated and praised for being patient. That he does in the second line. So according to him, for a lover, it is not a matter of pride to be called patient. The lover takes it as an insult. The matter of pride for the lover is to be in this perpetual state of anxiousness until he unites with the beloved. On a normal day, right? On a normal day, a normal person would take it as an insult if you tell them you have no patience, you are always very anxious, you are always very restless, you are never calm, you never rest. Right? But Ghalib, and this is the poet, this is the philosopher, this is the thinker, this is the lover in Ghalib. Ghalib glorifies this lack of patience. Ghalib glorifies this restlessness, this anxiety inside a lover's heart beyond any doubt in this couplet. He says, yeah, sure. For the normal person, for the normal people, it might be a matter of pride to be very patient. It might be a matter of insult to be restless and impatient. But in the world of love, the rules are different. In the world of love, the lover takes pride in not being patient. The lover rejoices impatience. In fact, he feels insulted if you say that he is patient or that he has the virtue of patience. Okay, that brings us to the end of the impression. I hope you enjoyed it. Let us know via comments and feedback what you thought about this episode, what you thought about the impression. Share with us any thoughts that you thought were not covered or could have been covered differently. We are always keen to hear that. After all, this is just a personal impression from DGMZ. There is no right or wrong here, right? We just share what we feel. As always, to the new viewers, a very strong recommendation. Please access the episode titled Introduction to DGMC. It will give you a good insight into the motivation, the inspiration behind this podcast. What are we trying to do here? Also, for everyone, go to the homepage of the channel. We have all the playlists laid out there. Surf through them, pick the episodes that you like. Now, I'm going to send a lot of love and light to all you dear viewers, and thanks for watching.